Hey everybody, it's John Z here with Matt Roybal as always, getting ready to give you what you've been asking for, episode 6 of Global Comic Safari.
Episode 6?
Yes, you know, the two of you that asked for it, you're getting it. Everybody else, enjoy.
A whole 2 people, what the hell's up with that?
Exactly. I wanted to start out and thank some people. As always, thanks CBSI, your #1 free source for comic book investing and speculation information and just general cool stuff. So go ahead and check it out. Lots of great articles, including Topher's first appearance article, the Walker Report. This week, Ben had up some vintage top 50 list of pre-code crime and a couple other things up there. So Go ahead and check that out. I would like to again thank our friends in Turkey, Paralel
Evren,
which is Parallel Universe there. I finally got my shipment of the Amazing Fantasy 15 Cinar variant. I'll show you guys that in a second. And along with that, I picked up this, he threw in for me, the Silver Surfer Parabel Turkish. It's a Cinar variant. The artist's name is Yolirdre Cinar. He also, I highlighted him last week on the show on a Spider-Man variant, but this thing blew my mind.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
that dude, amazing. I never heard of that dude till we started doing the show, and his art is freaking awesome.
Point. He had the Spider-Mans that kind of looked a little Campbellish last time we talked.
Yeah.
So this is actually still available on eBay. So just Google Silver Surfer and Cinar, and it'll come up. Put in Turkish, it'll help. But beautiful, beautiful book. So thank you to Parallel Universe. I'm going to take this off and just show this real quick. Mine was signed, so again, limited to 500. Beautiful book. I talked about this the other day. The Amazing Fantasy 15 Cinar versus Cinar, very similar names. This beautiful Gwen with Miles. Finally got him. Man, ships like a dream. Look for Foreign Comics, comes bag boarded.
Oh yeah, I love the stickers.
Yeah,
I've gotten one of those. Yeah,
a seal of certificate of authenticity because it was signed. So, guy does it right. If you order some books, you will be happy. So, you know, treat those that treat us right and visit him and check out some cool stuff. One last thing around this. Speaking of the AF-15. As you can see behind me, I'm in a new zone in the house. It's blank. I would love some inspiration on how to decorate. I want to show off my geek goodies. So I'm doing a little contest on Instagram. If you post some pictures of your geek cave, your fan cave, your geek goodies under hashtag FlipSide fan cave, I'm going to pick some of my favorites and randomly pick one. And they're going to get a free copy of this Amazing Fantasy 15 Cinar variant. So if you're interested in it, go ahead and post on FlipSide Fan Cave. Just show me what you got. I need some inspiration. I've got a blank wall behind me, and that's no fun. So FlipSide Fan Cave, and somebody will win this book. And if we get enough, I'll throw something else in there.
That's a no-brainer. I mean, just take a picture of like you said, your geek goodies. Yeah, let us devour your geek goodies, and you can win a badass variant.
Just show some stuff off. So this is for you and me. I know Matt wanted to we want to talk about the current circumstances. We're trying not to get too in depth on the world around us because we know it's crazy. We want to provide you some entertainment, but just as a foreign collector, shipping concerns are big. So I wanted Matt to kind of talk a little bit about some suggestions.
Yeah, we're okay. So we're dealing with unprecedented times, and as you know, a lot of the different countries, as they quarantine and they build their procedural things, along with America, not even talk. It's happening. Certain countries are not sending mail to the United States. They can't get it, or vice versa. Or some countries have lists of countries that they're still receiving mail from or not. And so one of the things I think, John, you and I are doing right now and ironically enough, two extremely rare Brazilian books that are in Brazil right now. We told our guy Victor that got us these. We were like, just hold on to them. When things return to normal, I think that everything will return to normal. But right now, there's going to be stress on the international mailing. I mean, because there's another thing I hadn't heard till recently. A lot of international mail piggybacks on commercial flights.
Absolutely.
So as commercial flights drop, you run into bottlenecks like we possibly haven't seen ever. So one of the things I was saying, I mean, I think maybe you're relatively safe in a country like Mexico or Canada because they're right here. But for the most part, I put all the orders that I had going through on hold. I tried to pay for them and just said, just hold on to them.
If it's a seller you know, a seller you trust, give them the money. They'll ship it when it's time. I'd rather them hold it than anybody in customs or the postal service. So
exactly.
If it's not en route, I'm just holding pattern. Plus, maybe they find something else you need while we're in waiting. So
and that always works because we know things are going to return to normal eventually. You just got to eventually mail will get back and you can do that. But so I just wanted to bring that up. That is definitely affecting the foreign collecting community right now. Yes, and we're all dealing with it. So be smart. Don't tell them to put it in the mail because you're risking it. Basically.
Absolutely. So on with the show.
Let's do this.
I'm going to confuse Matt because I decided to change the order just because of this wonderful pick. We had two contributors to this episode. The first being our friend who's visited a few times, Robert Fordham. He put together this very fancy issue or arrangement of sets. He's got a couple extra on there that we're not going to talk about because he's got a couple U.S. variants on there that aren't ours. We don't usually cover those. Yeah. So this is his version of his set right now. Here's a picture of it in real life. With he's got a slabbed Australian Yaffa. So very beautiful. We had one other contributor who actually helped us with the creepy set last time.
Stephane Poitras, Quebecois.
Exact. Beautiful books here. So he's got some slightly different versions there than Robert had.
Yeah. He's got the Hot Wheel toy.
Hot Wheel toy. He's also got the UK that I don't believe I saw in Robert. So we're going to talk about all of this fun stuff. But let's start off, as we always do, with the original. What do we want to know about the US one? Savage She-Hulk #1. First appearance of She-Hulk, as well as her alter ego, Jennifer Walters. Beautiful John Buscema cover. You can't open a book with too much a better cover than that one.
Yeah,
right beautiful. On front, just a lot going on. This one's also kind of important because it's one of the last Marvel creations Stan Lee did. I used to think it was the last, but doing a little research, he actually co-created Ravage 2099 in '94. So let's just say She-Hulk's the last good creation he made.
Well, you could say the last vintage.
last vintage creation. Though 2099 books are becoming vintage at this point. It's pretty old. Couple just stats on it. Mentioned it February of 1980 by Marvel. There are 6,744 in the census total. Over 2,000 of them are 9.8s.
Wow.
If you're looking to purchase one, it's a bit of a hot book now because there's talk of a Disney Plus show. 9.8 is going to run you about $400. You can jump down and get a 9.6 for about $175. And raw copies in the nice range will run you $75 to $125. So those are the base U.S. stats. There is a newsstand edition, which is the one we showed here, as well as the direct edition. So two versions in the U.S.
Dude, that's a great price for a 9.6 late Bronze Age key. I mean,
you used to be able to get the 9.8 for about that price point, but it definitely has jumped in recent years.
because of that show that they do. Do you think that's going to happen for sure, John?
I think it's going to come down the line somewhere. And I just think this book has been gaining steam for the last 5 or 6 years, just because everybody's like, it's one of those great characters that's on tap. It's a female character. Yeah. There's no way it doesn't hit the screen somewhere. So I would tend to agree it's going to hit, but great book to have. And
iconic cover, too. I love how She-Hulk's so big.
Exactly.
She's big. She's like, man, this is like...
She definitely starts out as the Savage She-Hulk, but as we know in later iterations, she kind of becomes more of a Professor Hulk, calm lawyer, and kind of just kick butt type persona. But let's give the people what they want and join the foreign world. We're gonna start out with one of the prettiest ones out there in my mind.
Yeah,
visiting Spain.
This is the Spain. This is the La Salvaje Hermasa 1. Published by Mundi Comics, so this was the later Ediciones Vertis publisher. Mundi Comics, one of their later lines. September of 1981. It's magazine size with full color interiors, and it contains Savage She-Hulk issues 1 and 2. It's got the redrawn cover, so Lopez Espy redrew this.
It's beautiful with the black.
It's rethought out. I mean, it's beautiful.
The background is night, and it's just stunning.
Yeah, and the buildings, they're retouched. The police car, the people, I think, are all different. It's badass. And the other thing I really like about a lot of Lopez Espy's work is you see this reusage of a circle. So he's always using a circle in a lot of his work, in a lot of his iconic covers. You'll see that circular design element, which I love.
Just looking at them in advance, if I were going to buy one, this would be it. This is my favorite.
And guess what? This is the hardest one to find in decent condition because of that fucking black cover.
I am sure it is. I can't even imagine.
Like, you find a nice one of this, buy it. Screw the price, buy it. This is going to be the one that, because it's magazine size, it's oversized already. So magazines sometimes can tend to get a little more wear and tear on them because they're just bigger. This is I
always talk about the Italian 300 being the one that catches the eye. This is the one of that set that does it.
This is the one of the set. Yep, this is a great one.
And the fun news for you is Spain had more than one.
Yeah. Okay. This one is the second. This is the La Masa 23, published by Editorial Bruguera on March 8th, 1982. The interiors are full color, and they contain Incredible Hulk 133, Savage She-Hulk 1 and 2. And then, interestingly enough, for 2, the first page is not printed, and some of the pages are out of order.
I gotta love it.
That's weird, right?
Yes.
Like, maybe when they were in the process of the production, they just got into, I don't know how that happened.
Cheap production value on that one.
Cheap production. And this one is almost magazine size. This is one of you'll notice with Bruguera's, they're larger than a normal comic.
Are they more like a Golden Age size, or?
I'd say probably closer to Golden Age. Not quite magazine, but bigger.
Okay.
And I like this publisher too. And you'll notice it's an iconic kind of thing in the top left. See how there's like a little green triangle? Just your eye just tends to get drawn to it. I don't know why, but I'm always drawn to that triangle up there. Maybe it's because, full disclosure, I'm a little inebriated tonight. So
no worries. I do like that they added the blue background. It gives a little pop. So
yeah, it makes it almost like a more realistic kind of sky. And I mean, I like that they have a starburst with Hulk right there saying "Con una aventura del incredible Hulk." So they're calling out that there's a Hulk story in there, which would be 133.
Like the man and the woman, we want to get both. So
yeah.
So the other tough one in the set, from what I understand, is this bad boy.
This might be the toughest, I think. This is the Australian Savage She-Hulk 1, published by Yaffa Publishing Group. The date is unknown on this.
So I found this interesting. Nobody could find it. Our friend Robert has the only slabbed edition that, as far as we know, unless something's changed very, very recently. And even on the slab, if you look really closely, no date. So nobody can seem to find any on the date on this.
And if I remember correctly, now people are going to hate me, but I'm pretty sure that I checked Aussie reprints looking for a date on this book, and I couldn't find one. I might be wrong.
This is also magazine sized.
It's big. Yep, it's big. It's magazine sized.
It's a magazine slab there.
Yep. So the interiors, like all Yaffas, are black and white. It's magazine sized, and the thing about Yaffas is they're already hard enough to find. High grade ones are almost impossible in some ways. I mean, they're high grade Yaffas are extremely hard to find. This one contains Savage She-Hulk 1 and 2 and Moomba from Chamber of Chill 25.
Huh. Interesting. That's a weird jump.
Yeah.
Throw some horror in there. All right.
But do you like this one, John?
Well, it's the closest to the original out there. I mean, it's very similar, the same book, just oversized, so it's gonna be hard to find. I can appreciate it's tough to find. It's probably not the one that I'm gonna run out and grab. So,
is She-Hulk's dress a different color?
No.
Go back to the Americans.
I think it's the same. It's pretty much looks the original.
Yeah, it's the same.
Never tell there. So, yeah. Now we go to our friends in the northern European region here, and got a lot of them there. We start in the Netherlands.
The She-Hulk 1, published by Junior Press in 1980. This cover is also a cardstock cover.
Oh, we know those are terrible.
Yep.
Can't press
them.
But they do.
Can't press them. They do. And, it's kind of, it's interesting as you go through sets, little weird data points will jump out at you. But I think there's 2 or 3 other cardstock covers of this book in this set. And so it's kind of weird how that plays out. But, love them or hate them, we see way more cardstock covers in some ways in Europe, I think, than even in America. Just because it's more expensive, but they tended to use it more.
This is a good one. It sticks to the original art. It just adds its own flair to the branding, so to speak.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I like the title, The She-Hulk.
Yeah,
I think that's nice pop. Cool. It's very, very cool. This one contains She-Hulk 1, 2, and 3. Oh. And the thing with Dutch books is sometimes you think, oh, well, they're not that hard to find. And then at other times, they can be really hard. Like this issue in particular, I think is maybe a little bit more difficult. But there have been times that I've seen, a couple on the market, and then other times where it dries out. So for me, I've always believed Dutch books, particularly these Junior Press books and older, they tend to kind of be hot or cold. Like the market will be flush with them, or they won't. But if you're building this set, I think this could be easier if you are lucky.
Yeah, right timing.
Yep, timing. This one's going to be all about timing for you.
All right, so heading that way some more. Norway.
Lady Hulk, published by Atlantic Forlag in May of 1982. This contains Savage She-Hulk 1, 2, and 3. 3 pages are removed from 2, and 1 page was removed from 3.
Okay.
Don't know why exactly. Full color interiors, great title, and it's classy. Look how classy Lady Hulk is.
Lady Hulk's a little classy. It's got the blue background again that we saw before. I do like the blue background. It adds a little bit to it, especially with the branding being blue. So I can't complain about this one.
I dig the title too. I dig that kind of
the Lady Hulk. Makes you want to say with your pinkies up, Lady Hulk.
We need to get Lady Hulk. Get her to us, please. It's like shit, man. Where's my little the long cigarette?
Maybe Lady Hulk is what she is now. She's more of a lady. She was savage at the time.
Yeah, so. More sophisticated.
Yes.
Anyway, so this is a cool book. May 1982. I mean, these Nordic books seem to have been printed not that far off from the American. I mean, 2 years. Yeah, it really isn't much.
No, they're all clustered pretty early on. Another one from the region, This is the only one I have in the set.
Oh, nice.
Denmark with the less classy title Hulky.
Yeah, that's Denmark. Hulky 1, published by Winthers Forlag, exactly 1 month after the Norwegian. Oops, sorry. See, look at that. I'm inebriated.
Oh, that's okay.
So in June of 1982 is when this issue landed. It contains Savage She-Hulk 1, 2, and 3, and the same bullshit. 3 pages removed from 2 and 1 page removed from 3. I think that was the same way.
I wonder if they were published the same time and just, shelf scheduled different months.
Maybe, yeah. Possibly, yeah. And it's the same full color interiors, so exactly like the Norwegian. But at least this one does do the nifty little title change. They did do that. And I thought about this. Someone from Denmark might have to tell me, but I think does putting the Y after the Hulk, does that feminize it in the Danish language?
I'm going to assume it must.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right. One more from our friends in the Northern European region. Sweden.
Miss Hulk, published by Atlantic Forlags, AB, in 1980. So that's kind of a trip.
That one's earlier.
Way earlier.
But
full
it's
color
Miss
Hulk. Same thing, full color, contains Savage She-Hulk 1, 2, and 3. Same exact thing. 3 pages removed from 2 and 1 page removed from 3. Basically the same as the Norwegian and the Danish, the Swedish. But I think this is the earliest. So the Denmark was 82. Lady Hulk was 82.
A vast majority of the books were 82 out here.
Yeah, Netherlands was Junior Press in 1980. So looks like the Netherlands and Sweden beat the others to the punch there. Closest to the American, which matters for some people. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but
all right. One more European book. Well, one more European country, not book.
Yeah.
Begin with the Miss Hulk out of France.
Miss Hulk. It's instead of like Mrs. It's just little Miss. She's a young little girl.
Well, she is single, so she's Miss.
Yeah, that's true. She's a señorita. Okay, so this is the French Miss Hulk. It doesn't have a number, so this is not numbered.
Oh, geez.
Hey, have you been drinking? Have you been drinking?
Just enough.
Okay. Okay, it's published by Artima in 1980. This issue is larger than a traditional comic, but smaller than a magazine. So it's kind of I've never actually seen one of these, but I think I've seen it compared to an American issue. See, let's see where is it in there? Yeah, see, it's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it's a little.
It's more like
taller.
Rivera. It's more like the
tall.
Spanish.
Tall and skinny.
It's more like the Spanish books.
So,
okay. This one also has a cardstock cover, which is very interesting. The interiors contain Savage She-Hulk 1, 2, and 3, and there's a horror story called L'Hombre Mysterieux. I don't know what that is exactly. 3 pages, and a Wasp story from TTA 58 called La Guêpe et la Magicienne.
Interesting.
So Tales to Astonish 58. El Guêpe de la Magicienne. Something the magician. So this one has 1, 2, and it just includes a little horror story as like a
well, the original Hulk was considered a horror book, so that's probably why it kind of fits in the other world.
Maybe that's why we're seeing horror kind of interspersed throughout it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
As they combine them, makes sense.
Well, the French liked this so much they did another one. Don't have a date on this one that we found, but they did a bound edition, which I'm assuming is something like a trade to us.
Yep, basically. And it's got a cardstock cover, and it has, according to my
I'm going to show a picture from Robert has the inside cover actually in it.
Yeah.
I kind of like this one with the black lettering, though.
Well, and you know what is, I kind of have heard, I don't think I could confirm this, but the rumblings I've been told was that people thought this was basically sort of like the comic-oramas or the tomes in Greece, where they just take excess guts and they just or books. They'll bring them and then they'll just chop them down and repackage them in a certain way and sell them out that way. So I think these might be just 1, 2, 3 exactly what was in the comics, just put into a TPB by the publisher, Ardet. So or Artima, I mean. So it's Artima is the publisher, and I don't know. Did I say that on the other French one? I thought I did. Published by Artima in 1980.
Yep.
Okay, because I don't remember. Damn.
So now we're going to a section that Matt's colorfully called the oddities.
Yeah, here's some oddities, just little oddities.
So starting in the UK, they didn't have a proper printing, it appears.
No, this was part of the Marvel UK, I think is what it was called, the publisher. So think of it almost like a subsidiary of Marvel on the islands, and they were doing all the weekly stuff. This is the UK Spider-Man and Hulk Weekly 380, published by Marvel UK in June of 1980. So very close to the American. When was the American done?
February of 80.
February. Okay, well, not that close, but
4 months. Yeah.
4 months, close enough. It's got newsprint covers, black and white interiors, and it does not include She-Hulk 1.
Gotta love it. But she is on the cover in the classic pose.
Yes, but a piece of the classic art is on the cover in the lower left there.
Yes.
So it does belong with this set, depending on your particulars. But this book contains parts of Spectacular Spider-Man 42, Spider-Woman 2, Hulk 248, and a part of Savage She-Hulk number 2.
It puts two classic covers together, though.
You know what? That is true. That is true.
We talk about double keys. This is a double key cover with probably no guts.
No guts. It's a double cover key.
Gotta love it.
We'll just make this shit up as we go along, John.
I like it. We can do what we want because nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, we do have a few fans. Those 2 fans that requested the show, they would care, I think.
Well, they enjoy us rambling. So another oddity is Russia.
The Russian Omnibus. Okay, so
I didn't even try and type it because I'm not sure I could do it.
Yeah, you'd have to use Cyrillic. These Russian Omnibus that have been getting produced in Russia are pretty darn cool. I don't know if you'd seen any of these, but if you've done any, just even a little bit of foreign exploration and research out there, you'll see people really digging these. I've never personally owned one, but I know guys that own them, and they say they're well put together. They're nicely produced. You know, the Marvel or the Russian language is just so awesome to see these Marvel books in. So this is the Marvel Russian. I can't say 116 Russian. I can't say Marvel 70E, published by Hachette in 2014. This is a hardbound book, full color. It contains, so this is crazy. This thing's like a fucking key factory. It contains Marvel Premiere 1, Hero for Hire 1, Marvel Spotlight 5, Marvel Premiere 1516, Hulk 181, Nova 1, Captain Britain 1 and 2, Spotlight, Marvel Spotlight 21, and finally, to round it all off, Savage She-Hulk 1.
So it's basically everything from 70 to 80, any kind of Marvel key first in there.
Yeah, the biggest, I think they missed a few, but
they got the big dogs.
They got the big dogs. So, you know, if you build any of those sets, this would be a kind of a cool book to have. I mean, it would depend, like for me, because I know it's probably pretty big and pretty heavy, so it probably costs a lot to ship. But I mean, I build the Spotlight 5 set. I want this book just because, you know.
So if anybody goes to Russia, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end on one last oddity. And this is from Hot Wheels. Using the classic She-Hulk kind of pose from the Savage She-Hulk 1. It's a Hot Wheels
77 van. I don't remember the name of it.
Set, but it's kind of cool. I mean, I've seen some of these Hot Wheels tied to comics. I don't know that I paid it a lot of attention to it, but if you're doing the cover set, this one really does have the cover front and center. I don't think they all do. This is one with the classic pose. So I'll show his set again because he put it in there.
Yeah, why not? If you're going to display this and you had the Hot Wheel, it would get displayed with the set. It's a no-brainer. Right?
If you were going to do a FlipSide fan cave, you would want it in there.
Exactly.
Hashtag FlipSide fan cave. Show me what you got.
Yeah, show John how to do a man cave. Clearly, you can see mine is empty because we're trying to sell and buy a house in the middle of a global pandemic. I'm going crazy.
We are the most depressing-looking comic collectors ever right now. Nobody has any comics in their room.
Yeah, look, it's all black. I mean, but that's okay because I got some laughs out of this episode. I want to thank Robert Fordham and Stephane Poitras because one of the things we want to do with this is share a lot of the those goals that get completed. Finishing a set is not easy, or even getting close to
set, as we call it.
Yeah, or finishing the known set. It's not an easy thing, and both those guys deserve accolades for doing it. And this presented itself as an easy way to highlight both their sets in a show, which we haven't done before. But then, and they're a little different. Like Robert's got a slab, and Stephane's got the car, the Hot Wheels car. So that was fun.
Yeah, so if you guys have a set you want to share and you want to contribute, hit us up. You shoot Matt a message on Facebook, shoot me a message on Facebook, or hang out on Instagram. Our Instagram things are there with Comics with a Norm and Define 999. We'd love to, feature some sets out there. We don't know everything. I mean, we barely know enough to get by most days. So,
yeah, in fact, we need help.
We're just guys that like to present info.
Yeah, and I like to think that our report's getting better, John. I mean, we're like putting on a show here, bro.
So thank you all. Thank you, Robert and Stephane. We appreciate everything you guys did helping us on this one. We will try and get back on track. We had a little bit of a loss there, but we're going to get our butts in here. Thank you all for joining us for She-Hulk. We'll catch you again real soon, and keep our friends CBSI and Parallel Universe. Hit them up and give them some support since they support us. So thank you all. See you soon.